Every night, when I settle into bed and close my eyes, I feel a peculiar sensation, like a whisper of movement in the room. It started subtly, just a fleeting thought dismissed as exhaustion. But then I noticed something unsettling. Each time I blinked, the shadow in the corner of my room seemed to inch closer, like a predator stalking its prey. At first, I thought it was my mind playing tricks on me, the shadows cast by my lamp creating illusions. But then it happened, a raspy voice that seemed to echo inside my head, calling my name. It knew me, it wanted me, and with each blink, it grew bolder. I confided in my best friend, hoping for rationality, but she only offered nervous laughter, dismissing it as stress from work. I wanted to believe her, to find solace in the mundane. Yet, the shadow's presence grew more pronounced. I tried sleeping with the lights on, hoping the brightness would banish whatever lurked in the darkness. But even the harsh light couldn't dispel it. Instead, the shadow seemed to thrive, growing thicker, more defined. And the voice, that insidious whisper, grew clearer. It wasn't just my name it spoke anymore, it recounted my secrets, my fears, things only I knew. Desperation led me to research, seeking answers in folklore and urban legends. I stumbled upon stories of shadow entities, spirits that feed on fear and thrive in darkness. Most chilling of all was the tale of the Watcher, a shadow that slowly encroaches upon its victim, consuming their essence when it finally reaches them. The thought haunted me, but I refused to succumb. I armed myself with salt and protective charms, hoping to stave off the inevitable. Last night, as I lay in bed with my eyes wide open, I realized the futility of my efforts. The shadow was already at the foot of my bed, its form impossibly dark against the light. My heart pounded in my chest as it whispered my name, the sound no longer just a voice but a cacophony of despair. I blinked, and in that instant, it was upon me. Just before everything went black, it spoke one final, chilling phrase, "I've been here all along."
Every morning, I see my reflection before I see anyone else. It's a comforting ritual, or at least it was until things started to change. At first, I thought it was just stress playing tricks on my mind, a subtle flicker in my reflection's eyes when I wasn't looking directly at it. But then, one day, my reflection smiled at me. Not a normal smile, but a sinister grin that stretched wider than my own lips could manage. I stood frozen, heart pounding, as it continued to smile even when my own face remained blank. That was only the beginning. I tried to rationalize it, chalking it up to some bizarre optical illusion, but over the next few days, the reflection grew bolder. It began moving independently, reaching out towards the surface of the mirror, fingers curling as if trying to breach the glass barrier between us. The more I watched, the more I realized it was learning, mimicking my gestures, then twisting them into something grotesque. My reflection's eyes, once mirrors of my own, now held a depth that seemed to gaze into my soul, dissecting my every thought. I avoided mirrors, but they were everywhere. At work, in public restaurants, and even the rearview mirror of my car. Each time I caught a glimpse, the reflection was waiting, its grin growing more predatory, more knowing. It whispered silently, words I couldn't hear but felt deep within my bones. I began to dread its presence, yet felt an inexplicable pull towards it, as though it were a part of me I couldn't escape. Friends noticed my uneasy glances and nervous energy, but I couldn't tell them. Who would believe a reflection could turn against you? Last night, unable to bear it any longer, I stared into the mirror, determined to confront whatever it was. As I leaned closer, its hand shot out, grasping my wrist with a grip colder than ice. Panic surged through me as it pulled me closer, the world around me blurring into darkness. In that moment, I understood the reflection's intent. It wasn't just mimicking me, it was waiting to take my place. As the boundary between us shattered, I realized with horror that I was the one trapped behind the glass, watching helplessly as my reflection stepped into my life, wearing my face with that same malevolent smile. Scrolling through my phone late one night, I stumbled upon an app I'd never seen before. It was simply called Future Me, and the description promised to reveal my future actions. It sounded ridiculous, but curiosity got the better of me. With a dismissive chuckle, I downloaded it. The moment it finished installing, my phone vibrated violently, nearly falling from my hands. A notification appeared, "In 5 minutes, you will spill your drink." I rolled my eyes, but exactly 5 minutes later, my cup slipped from my grasp, splattering water across the floor. That's when the shiver ran down my spine. Over the next few days, the notifications became eerily accurate. "You will lose your keys tomorrow morning." I did. "A stranger will compliment your shirt." They did. It was intriguing at first, almost like a game, but then the predictions started to deepen. "You will say goodbye to a friend for the last time." That one left me uneasy as I waved goodbye to my college roommate who was moving to another state. I stayed up all night, staring at my phone, wondering what this app truly was. Each notification felt like a thread weaving a tapestry of my life that I was no longer in control of. One evening, as I sat alone in my dimly lit apartment, a new notification buzzed. "In 3 days, you will face your end." Panic surged through me. I tried to uninstall the app, but it refused to disappear. Desperate, I sought out a tech-savvy friend who suggested a factory reset. But even after wiping my phone, the app remained, taunting me with its ominous prediction. I couldn't escape it. My mind raced with the possibilities. Was this a cruel joke, or something far more sinister? The world felt colder, shadows in my room seemed to stretch longer than before. On the final day, I isolated myself at home, hoping that staying put would alter my fate. I taped shut the windows and barricaded the door, convinced that I could outsmart whatever doom awaited me. As the clock ticked towards midnight, my phone buzzed with one last notification: "Look behind you." My heart froze. Against every instinct screaming at me to stay put, I turned around, and there it was, my reflection in the window, but it wasn't quite right. The eyes staring back were hollow, and a cold realization swept over me. There was never a chance to change the course set by the app. It had already seen what I could not.
I first noticed the whispers in my headphones while waiting for the bus one chilly autumn evening. At first, I shrugged it off as signal interference. After all, the old pair had seen better days. But when a whispering voice whispered, "The bridge will fall," and the news of a collapsed footbridge appeared on my phone the next morning, I felt a shiver crawl down my spine. I couldn't shake the feeling that this was more than just a coincidence. My headphones became a source of dread, but I couldn't bring myself to discard them. Days went by, and I tried to ignore the whispers, but they persisted, growing clearer with each passing day. They announced a storm before the sky even showed a hint of gray, and sure enough, a thunderous tempest rolled in later that afternoon. As the predictions became increasingly accurate, I started documenting them in a notebook, hoping to find a pattern that could explain the eerie phenomenon. It was as if the whispers were guiding me, revealing the world's secrets in a hushed symphony that only I could hear. The whispers became a part of my routine, though they filled my nights with sleepless dread. One evening, as I was about to leave work, the familiar murmur drifted into my ears: "The fire will consume all." The urgency in the voice was unmistakable. I hesitated, torn between the impulse to run and the fear of being wrong. My heart raced as I alerted my coworkers, and we evacuated just in time to see the building's top floor engulfed in flames. The whispers had saved our lives, but at what cost? The burden of knowing weighed heavily on me. My once ordinary life was now a tapestry of whispered warnings, a relentless cycle of fear and foreboding. I wanted to share my experiences with others, to warn them, but who would believe me? The whispers had become my curse, isolating me from the world. One night, as I lay in bed with the headphones resting on my nightstand, I heard the softest whisper yet: "You are next." The words echoed in my mind, leaving me paralyzed with terror. Now, I wait for the day when the whisper's final prediction comes true, hoping against hope that I'll find a way to silence them before it's too late.